Hi everyone. So in this video we are going to be looking at chemical equations. In our previous lessons we have seen how we can find the chemical formula of compounds. So if you still remember that if we have a compound like aluminum oxide, from the periodic table and from the group number we can get the valency, and when we cross multiply that you can get the formula of this compound. So this is for aluminum oxide. So this is the name and this is the chemical formula. Now, there are a couple of elements like these ones. So hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, chlorine, iodine, and bromine. These elements, when they exist in nature, they do not exist as atoms. They actually exist as molecules. So hydrogen, when it exists in nature, will exist as hydrogen molecule. And in the molecule, you're going to have an atom of hydrogen combined with another atom of hydrogen. So in this molecule, you have two atoms of hydrogen. So when you write the formula of hydrogen gas, for example, hydrogen gas will be H2. Remember that the number as a subscript always shows how many atoms of that element there are in that molecule. So H2 represents a hydrogen gas, which is two atoms of hydrogen in that molecule. Oxygen exists as oxygen gas because there's two oxygen atoms that exist in that molecule. Nitrogen exists as N2 because when you have nitrogen, there is two atoms of nitrogen that combine together. Please note that this number at the bottom has nothing to do with the valency. Hydrogen has valency 1, but it still combines with another hydrogen atom. So there's just two hydrogen in one molecule. Here, there is two oxygen in one molecule. Here, there is two nitrogen in one molecule. Fluorine as well, there is two fluorine in one molecule of fluorine. Chlorine exists as Cl2, iodine as I2, bromine as Br2. These are diatomic elements, diatomic molecules. So they exist as these kinds of molecules. This number at the bottom here, the subscript numbers, should never be changed. I cannot have something like H3 for hydrogen gas. It should be H2. You cannot change this number at the bottom. So be careful. Hydrogen will always exist as H2. Okay, this will always exist. Now let's see word equations. So this is a word equation which shows what is happening in this reaction, which means that hydrogen is combining with oxygen to form water. So remember, hydrogen exists as hydrogen molecules, so H2. Oxygen exists as oxygen molecules, and water, if you still remember, water has chemical formula H2O. For water, you have to remember it. You're not going to be calculating it from the cross multiplication method. You just have to remember it. So this is a chemical equation where you have the chemical formula of all the different substances that exist in that word equation. Okay, now if you look at this chemical equation here, you will see that there is two hydrogen here on the left hand side and there is two hydrogen on the right hand side, which is great, which satisfies the law of conservation of mass. But the oxygen seems to have been destroyed because there is only one oxygen here when we started with two oxygen. So means that there is one oxygen missing. So means that this equation needs balancing. So we're going to see how we balance equations. Now you are going to come across many chemical equations. So this is a list of a lot of chemical equations. In this case, the equations are not yet balanced and you will need to balance them. After this, we will see how we convert word equations to chemical equations. For now, let's see how we balance equations. Now, there are a couple of rules that you need to respect when you're balancing equations. Now, you will never change the numbers that are given as a subscript. These will always remain the same. And if you are balancing, you will only put numbers in front of the molecule. You will never put a number at the back, and you will never put a number at the bottom, ever. And also, when you're balancing equations, whatever numbers you put in front here, whatever, let's say you're putting, these are just random numbers. So whatever numbers you're putting in front, the numbers here will multiply with the number that is given as a subscript. These are the main rules of balancing equation. So let's recap the rules for balancing equations. You will never put a number at the bottom here or change the number that is given here, ever. So the number at the bottom written as subscript should never be changed, or you will never put a number or add a number at the bottom as subscript. This is wrong. The second thing is that when you are putting numbers, you only have the right to put the numbers in front of the molecule. So like this or like this. And the numbers should be in front and a little bit bigger than the molecule so that we can actually see the balancing. And you will never put the numbers at the back like this. This is wrong. So the only proper way is to put the numbers in front of the molecule like this. And the third thing is that when you're counting, whatever number you put in front will multiply with the number that you already have. So if initially you would be counting the hydrogen atom here, so here you know that there is 2 hydrogen because we're just counting it. The number as a subscript mean that there is 2 hydrogen. So 2 hydrogen in the molecule. When I'm going to put a number in front, this number will multiply with this so that we no longer have 2 hydrogen. We now have 6 hydrogen atoms. Right, that's the next rule. And the last rule we could say for the balancing of equations is that when you have free H2, it actually means that you have H molecule, and another H molecule. So there is 3 H molecules that are existing in this reaction. This is what the free in front means. So whenever we're balancing equations, we're going to use these rules to help us.